Hey everyone, welcome to Biconomy Talks. Today we're having an interesting discussion about decentralized finance and the infrastructure that makes it work. I'm joined by two special guests from Axiome, Alex Scheck, their CEO, and Charles Belford, their Chief Risk of Trading Officer. Axiome is a DeFi ecosystem built on its own Layer 1 blockchain and powered by its native coin, AXM. We'll hear about their journey, discuss why they chose to build a new L1 chain, explore their go-to-market strategy, and talk about market cycles and what future might hold as we look towards 2026. Alex, let's start with you. Your personal journey. You've been described as a serial entrepreneur, an investor, the background in medical technologies, finance, and blockchain. Can you share what drew you into this world of decentralized finance and what your main responsibilities are on the Axiom project?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, thank you. At first, to be able to be here. So yeah, these are two different worlds. Maybe when you see this from the side, medical or even health and finance and blockchain, nothing to do together. But these are the two worlds. I'm from 2010 already involved, as you said, right? I still have a company, running company in Germany. We are producing medical and health tech technologies and distributing this worldwide. And it's still a very interesting business, not only from the financial point, but also from the interesting things that we can move in this sphere. But this is not the topic today. To the finance and blockchain world, I started with trading myself, personal, 2010. First of all, with Forex, as it always happens, or mostly happens, and then went more and more also in stock trading. And of course, as a lot of people, a little bit late maybe, but 2017, I started with also trading with crypto, just trading, first of all. And from 2012, we already started to develop our own trading strategies, expert advisors for Forex and so on. So this trading sphere was always pretty interesting for me. And especially from 2017, this was a wild, wild west in trading and made a lot of fun, but was also very dangerous. So we didn't have at this time stables and so on, all this. But I was very interested in, especially in the blockchain itself, the technology, because I understood as a lot of people in the blockchain sphere understood this technology will not move away. It will stay. It has sense to think about new technologies on blockchain, especially in the trading sphere, but also other things. And from 2019, so DYDX started with the first perpetual platform on decentralized, as a decentralized exchange. And this was the point where I said, okay, this is something very interesting. Maybe let's look into this space. I tried, of course, DYDX, and the first days were not the best. UX UI was very poor. So, we all know this just the last few years when we see all the big players in decentralized futures are really cool. But the beginnings were very slowly. And the idea was, this was the start where me and my partner started to think into this direction. Okay, why not to think into the decentralized exchange world? Of course, it's a very early start, and for sure it will need 5 to 10 years to be really present in the market. But this was the first start where we thought, okay, let's think about a decentralized exchange. And we started to develop at this time so-called NextX. NextX was a concept for a decentralized exchange on our own layer 1. And this was the start. And we said, okay, now we would have a decentralized perpetual exchange, but what about the marketing? So how we could do it better, how we could involve some communities. And my partners were involved in different affiliate, but also MLM projects with crypto, without of crypto. And the idea was born of a layer 1 Axiome Chain to have it pretty centric on blockchain technology through blockchain. And this is why we thought about layer 1. We wanted to have everything very transparent. This is why we thought about our layer 1 itself, but to connect this with a very community-driven concept of affiliate or MLM. But we never wanted to be an MLM company. So this was a very important point, because at the beginning, few people thought, okay, this is the next MLM company, but this was not our initial plan. So we have a site module, MLM site module, but we don't really care if MLM works or not. It's a real site module. We concentrate on our tech, on our blockchain, on our products. This is the main thing. But the MLM thing is where we gave 15% of the revenue to the people who are really driving the community. So Axiome Chain was born as layer one with our AXM token. And the last 2 years, we improved this technology and built the ecosystem of different products. I think we will come back later to all the products in detail. But around this layer one, we built these products. And me, to come back to your question as Axiom CEO, of course, I'm overseeing all facets of the business, thinking with the team, what are the products that are really needed this time, what we can implement, with whom we can partner, for the product development, of course, with the dev team, XM token, market making, Axiom platform itself, product development, with the Axiom trading products that we will discuss later, hopefully. Of course, all these things like fundraising, close community work with the Axiom community. These are the main things where I am personally concentrated the last year or 2 years.
Fantastic. Makes sense. I still remember that December 2017, that a transaction would take over a day to go through because the network was so busy. Bitcoin blockchain was so busy, and there was an all-time high. And then just watching the charts go down for a while, there were some good lessons over there. I do see some parallels from an entrepreneur that comes from health tech. You need to deal with devs. You need to deal with creative team. It is a highly regulated industry. It is a complicated product, complicated market. So these are skills that makes you a better seasoned founder to a business in crypto, definitely in Web3. And we're going to talk more about this. I know it's interesting that whenever we touch MLM as a marketing strategy, it's sensitive. And especially in crypto, there's a lot of, airdrops, token giveaways. But what's important here is understanding and looking through this lens that is there a structure behind what's being built? There are platforms, there are services, a product, and we're going to get into that. But Charles, I want to hear from you. Welcome. Your background spans over 17 years in traditional finance and digital assets. And there's both of you guys, there's a lot to learn from the two of you. Charles run an institutional strategies across CFI and DeFi focused on quant research, market making, and risk management. What is your focus with Axiome?
Thank you very much, Breno, for the invitation. And really great to be here with you guys. I see my focus with Axiom twofold. The first is leveraging 7 years of institutional CFI, DeFi, digital asset trading experience to help roll out the Axiom Trade product suite. Think of it like a basket with 3 eggs in it: pump, swap, and futures. So which used to be the NextDex platform, but we rebranded it as Axiom Futures. So my first focus of two focuses is to come up with a DEX perp exchange that makes sense, that can build upon the shortcomings and the strength that I've seen trading on these other DEX platforms for the past several years. So I'm looking at everything. How do we set the margining? How do we handle liquidations? How do we set up the insurance fund? A big topic these days has been Oracle price risk on both centralized and decentralized exchanges. I've also been involved in setting up the Axiom Trading Academy. So for our more novice or even intermediate traders, giving them some support when they go into the Bitcoin space. Alex mentioned, the perp rolled out on DYDX. I did a paper, I think back in 2019. It's on my GitHub site, an intro to BitMEX perpetuals. I found that very fascinating. The linear ones, the inverse ones. So that's just been learning and iterating every day. The second focus is more just on the market making side of things for our spot AXM token. So we're listed for about a year and a half now on several exchanges, including Biconomy. I've got the tech stack to look after the market making for the token, and that's daily interactions with TG groups with the various exchanges, including Biconomy. Just make sure everything is running smoothly. keep the liquidity looking good and make it a choice market for investors to come in and participate in.
Scientific work, I would say. I think that not all, well, aside from pro traders and market operators, most of newbies or newcomers don't realize how complicated trade can be, and all these strategies that make it for better gains or to protect your positions. So definitely see interesting that the two of you got excited at the time that futures and perpetuals started being on chain. And yes, the future, we're still probably a little bit far off the full functioning but fantastic UX that will take over markets, but the future tends to be on chain. We're so happy to see blockchain technologies spanning all over different industries. Super excited about Trading Academy, and for all Biconomy users, it's a resource to learn. Every pro trader probably should think about hedging strategies, and if they're taking positions, markets and the future is unpredictable. Even if you're a strong believer in a specific trend, it's always good to have some capital protection strategies or hedging positions. Not to get into the technical details, I know that we're gonna provide links to access all these materials. I like to ask everybody this: were there any pivotal moments or industry events from the last few years that really shaped your thinking? I mean, what comes easy, top of mind as a memory that was, oh, this was important for us and affected some decision making, or you saw an opportunity or something that needed to be fixed or change directions?
Yeah, I have a few things there, to be honest, but maybe we will cover two or three of them. So first, we already discussed, this is the movement into the decentralized trading. This is very important. This is why we even started. So very important point for us. And I'm pretty sure we will run pretty well in the next years. It depends on the regulation side. We have to see what will happening in the next years on the regulation side on decentralized trading. But from the point of view of the possibilities of decentralized trading, especially in the futures game, we are very happy to be in this game, and we see a lot of potential in the next years. And I'm sure we will see huge volumes, and we are seeing this already with the big players, right? So they're showing really good results, and I'm very happy that we have these big players now and moving into these markets. So this was one pivot point, why we even started. The second one you already touched also. We are not people that are trying to find always easy solutions, because it could be much easier with layer 2 and just take everything ready and start just very concentrated on one product maybe. So we are building an ecosystem, and it's not easy. It's a lot of work, a lot of things that so I mean, to cover everything what we built already in 2 years, it's too much. So there are so many products, so many things that we reshaped. It's not easy. Why we did this is one thing. You touched the sensitive topic, is MLM. I really believe MLM is one of the strongest, when not the strongest, possibility to market any business, either crypto, health tech, whatever. We're seeing this in the US, very strong, right? So the people understand MLM, they earn with MLM, and it's working pretty well. But the connection crypto and MLM is always very dangerous. So this is why we have to be very careful about this. And this is why we're not concentrating on the MLM side. We're just giving the possibility to work with the MLM tools that we are giving. Our main goal is to stay a tech company, blockchain company, but giving the possibility to give some revenue to these guys who are really moving the markets, who are really moving the community. And this is the strong thing. This is why we build this whole ecosystem. And we didn't found with our research team the right technologies that are ready to go. This is why we started from the scratch and built everything on this side. So I think that these are the main pivot points that we seen in the last years. And the third, maybe very important thing is why we started also. I mean, we all see or have seen what's happening with Pump, right? This is why we reshaped a little bit our ecosystem. So we are back from the idea to have a futures platform, to have a swap platform. Our trade or Axiome Trade platform was born with all the elements in one trading platform with great UX UI. So it's on a text, but with all the possibilities and pluses from the decentralized world. So what we did now, our trade platform includes everything from the launching your token into two clicks, to have a launchpad, to have the swap platform, but also when you have enough volume to go immediately to the futures with your token. So of course you have to reach some volume on this, but it's much easier other than I would start with one decentralized platform and then go maybe search and text. And then after I'm searching and futures platform that can maybe list us, we have everything under one roof. And this is our idea behind this. And this was the third movement where we said, okay, why not to have this everything in one platform and one ecosystem where the people don't have to leave to have the swaps or to trade on futures, everything under one ecosystem.
One-stop shop. That's the way to go.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right.
That's the thing. What's actually going to make this industry, Web3, and especially the decentralized part, decentralized tech, is competition. The more we have, the better we have.
Right.
Experienced founders searching for better solutions for the communities that they're reaching out to. And interesting that you touched with, when we talk about MLM, and I keep thinking airdrops, I keep thinking quests. We see communities, community managers, we see all these strategies. It's always changing however we're referencing it. But the idea is there are rewards for those that help the project grow. That's
Right.
regular thing. And it's a very decentralized way of approaching it if it's community driven, right? These are the incentives. Anybody can come and participate in this and take advantages of this, learn with the process, and eventually help Axiom grow to where it needs to go. And interesting, launchpads are definitely a hot topic these days.
Yeah.
Again, the same thing, better tech, better market access, more tools for those that need help creating, launching their token and concretizing their ideas. Charles, reverting to you, any specific moments that come to your mind? Any additions to the moments that Alex highlighted?
Sure. Yeah. On my side of things, pivotal moments and industry events. I mean, I'm just looking back now. So 7 years now in digital asset trading space. Before that, 17 years in TradFi, primarily flow and derivatives, market risk roles here in Japan. One thing that's really struck me and stayed with me is how portable the TradFi experience is over into crypto. For example, my first gig was chief risk management officer with a crypto exchange here in Japan, and I was rolling out value at risk and other stress scenarios for the crypto portfolios, things that I'd done exactly in TradFi. So it was a pivotal moment in that when I went into crypto initially, I said, am I just going to have to throw out 17 years of experience? And thankfully, that has not been the case. I can port a lot of what I learned in TradFi over into crypto. And that's becoming even more increasingly common as institutions step into the space. Another example was working with ISDA documentation at that exchange. So ISDA, International Swap Dealer Association documentation, is quite popular in TradFi space for OTC trades, porting that over into crypto space for our first dealing with market makers, etc. Maybe another example was I was working as a trader covering APAC hours for the Ethereum hedge fund, a CFTC regulated fund headquartered in Chicago. And in terms of industry events, I think that was the first crypto industry event I went to down in Singapore in 2018. It was the CORA, which stands for Crypto OTC Roundtable Asia, a conference down in Singapore. And basically it was just an attempt to port over the ISDA documentation, the OTC counterparty documentation, credit risk documentation from TradFi to help strengthen the crypto OTC markets. So yeah, that's been pivotal and industry events for me that I've been able to leverage off my previous experience. In terms of maybe more recent pivotal moments, I mean, RWA tokenization, I'm having a think about this every day. Where does it make sense? Institutional players, a lot of them, they can access liquid assets via their prime broker. So they don't need tokenization. It's just an unnecessary wrapper. But retail, on the other hand, one blockchain, I recently purchased some uranium. I see maybe RWA a lot more intuitively geared towards retail participation, open up markets for retail. Let's see, NFTs, how they fit in. Minecraft, I recall earlier, didn't want anything to do with them. I'm a big gamer. GTA 6, when will you come out? How would we fit NFTs, into that space? 20,000 machine guns that look all the same as NFTs. I don't think that's going to work, but I'm looking at, solutions there. And then finally, prediction markets. Bruno, you talked earlier, we talked about perps, and we got into a bit of options, which has sort of been struggling to take off, I guess, because maybe the versatility of perps, but prediction markets now, 15-minute, prediction options. I think that could be a potential growth pivotal area. That's what's on my agenda.
Interesting. Yeah, it's kind of the whole plethora of Web3. You're looking in front of you and okay, let's out tab. Let's jump from this tab to this tab. This is coming faster. But I'd seen this before. I keep seeing it, and I think that's a huge advantage that the industry itself has. That well-experienced trading professionals, financial professionals come to the industry, and probably that's why most of the systems and what we have in place in less than 10 years, or a little over 10 years when we look to general trading and general crypto trading, is it started already at such a high, excellent level because we had the learnings of traditional finance coming into and capital markets coming into it, instead of making all those mistakes that might take decades to evolve and figure out how to make the systems better. Few points that I wanted to touch that you mentioned. We're going to wait and see everything. I think there's a natural order of things. Stablecoins are having their momentum right now. That's for sure. A lot of discussions happening with RWAs. I share your point of view. If markets need a better reason to be than just using a cool tech but not changing much of how things work. Although cross-border fragmentation, some store of value that might be interesting, and better access to liquidity might be good drivers to RWAs.
Yep. Agreed.
NFTs, super cool technology. Maybe it doesn't need to be mainstream, but I believe it will be behind everything. Imagine if we get all gaming companies and gaming manufacturers to actually have an agreement, and you can carry your accessories from one game to the other, or at least your access as a badge or your history. That's the way to go. NFTs, it needs to be on chain.
Mm-hmm.
Perpetual markets are the hot topic at the moment. There's a lot happening. I'll leave this for a little further because I know that I think it's better for us and our listeners to understand Axiome structure and ecosystem. And then we get back to certain topics that might be that you're looking further ahead. So let's start from the beginning. Let's go back to the origins. How was the ideation? How Axiome came to be? First moments, how did you get together? How was the process? I'm always curious about the process of founders putting pieces together with a pain or a problem that they see, start creating the solution and finding out more problems, or then you have problem solution fit. Then you have solution market fit, product market fit. How was this journey for the two of you?
Yeah. At the beginning, as I already told, how we came to the idea of Axiom itself, it was through the trading itself. So with our perpetual platform, we started to search for the right technology. It was pretty early for the decentralized perpetual trading. So just DYDX was there. So the technology was not, it was okay, but it was not really ready for this. So this is why we tried to find the right way, our own layer one, or to cooperate with some partners. Was not easy, and we decided pretty fast to say, okay, with our idea, what we want to do is we have to go from scratch. So we have to build our own layer one. It's pretty the same as UIDX did with Cosmos, right? So this was the first thing, and the second thing is with the token with the layer one itself, how when we decided to have, let's call it marketing layer with affiliate or MLM, we spoke to a lot of different companies. And the point is, now we come back to this sensitive topic. There are a lot of pure technologies, or let's call it even scam companies that are around in the MLM space, especially MLM plus crypto. So there is not really a lot of true technology that is very transparent, where you see every movement in the MLM system. I mean, to be honest, MLM itself, it's not easy to build, but MLM on blockchain is much harder. So to have a real MLM on real blockchain with real transactions, with real transparency, And we didn't find at this time the right partner to have it. Of course, it would be much easier for us to start immediately with a good partner, but we didn't find it. So this is why we decided, and to come back to your question, yeah, it was not easy to find the right partners for our idea where we want to be in 5 years, all right? And today we are there, and we built a really crazy, interesting MLM on blockchain system where we have all the trading possibilities, where you can issue your token in 2 clicks, where you can be immediately on our swap platform, where you can be on our futures, and then you can have a full working MLM system in your token or in your ecosystem with 2 clicks for nearly for free, right? So it's the first time that you are getting this. And we didn't find the right partners to have it. And how we came together with Charles, of course, he is a trading professional in TradFi and crypto. So he was the right person at this time to build with us together the trading mechanics and all what's connected to the trading space and the futures, decentralized futures. He was the right partner, and this is why we started. And maybe, Charles, you can explain a little bit more about the exchanges.
That's right. I think I was introduced to Alex and the project back I joined in May 2024 as we started to launch the token, the spot AXM token on several centralized exchanges. And I had to handle the market making, including for Biconomy. So that's, that was just leveraging off my earlier experience. I'd worked for a couple of years for Chiron Labs, a Belgian cryptocurrency market makers. So yeah, had the tech stack and could handle it. So that's the day to day. And then the point of interest for me is, the product suite. Yeah, primarily as mentioned before for Axiome Futures. So yeah, meme coin perps. Yeah, okay, sure. The major tokens perps. Okay, sure. But what about like Caesar, the Ethereum staking rate? So I reached out to my industry contacts, the providers about, Caesar perp product. So that's one potential we've got on the burner to go live on Axiome Futures when we roll it out. I've just recently noticed another platform has launched it. And let's see what else. Some other products of interest like Pendle with their Boros product, which is like a perp on funding rate, on yield, not on price. I find that a very interesting. As we're in the perp space, you're always exposed to either gaining or winning from our hourly funding rate changes. What about a vehicle or a perp to hedge that? And even more recently, prediction markets playing on, Kalshi and Poly market, seen some big players like Jump move into the, prediction market making space. So that's something I'd like to look at us, for Axiome Futures down the road as well. I think prediction markets is what we've just seen. That's really a main theme. Prediction markets and then the RWA. I found it, fun before with the uranium RWA token on another blockchain to play around with, and let's see what we can work there. Some exchanges, their RWAs, they've got a euro or silver USDT perp. It just doesn't go anywhere. So I really I'm just trying to think about when we do go, what makes sense with our resources, what makes sense, what is really the optimal product suite. Yeah, we've got to offer the ones that everyone else offers, but where can we make a difference? So that's what I find fun.
And I think it's a good approach. The two of you have a very good understanding and expertise. I think the world will benefit for having founders like yourselves with great expertise tackling these problems that have room there, that everybody's looking. There will be more prediction markets because everywhere in the world we'll see from small to big to large ones coming up. And definitely RWAs in a way that if I want to access Asian markets from this side of the world, probably that there's a better way using blockchain technologies through RWAs. I think it's understood why you needed your own blockchain, your L1. I'm just very curious, and maybe some of our listeners might be too, about, and this could be a quick remark, but how do you cope or deal with decentralization? When I talk to protocols and the founders of L1s, the choice between being an L2 or an L1 comes to you need your own tech, but then you have the challenge of, besides being fast enough, the tech working as you need it to, but you need incentives to get more people involved, to have more servers running this. The magic happens with decentralization that protects what's there. How did you tackle this?
It's a very important question and strong decision or hard decision to take at the beginning. If you go with layer 2 or layer 1, I think we already covered why we went with layer 1. So we didn't see another way for our possibility. And you're completely right. You need a lot, first of all, you need a lot of time to really get this exposure as layer 1, right? And either you are pumping in a lot of money into marketing, or our decision was to have the strong community, to build the community tools around this, what we already discussed, but also to concentrate on products around the layer 1 that are real connected to the real world. If we look at the whole blockchain world, so the idea is nice, right? Of decentralization and connection to the real world and so on. But if we take all the tokens, all the blockchains that we have, there are not really a lot of real blockchains that are really connected. It's coming more and more in the last years, for sure. But it's not easy to find the right projects that are really connected. And our main goal was not even to say, okay, here's layer 1, play around, build your things, build your products. No, we had an exact idea how to show, how to build these products with our layer 1 that we already prepared for our products to be connected to the real world, like Axiome Pay, our crypto card aggregator, all our trading products. We wanted to have the right approach to show with the first move. So we are always in our layer 1, the first mover with the products. So we are showing, hey, this is the layer 1. This is the product. This is the connection. This is the community. This is how it's working. Now it's your turn. And we help you. Okay. Built on our layer 1. I think this is the main difference of our layer 1 approach, because usually when we are looking into layer 1s, you have huge teams that are working on the layer 1 and they're needing around 5 years to really get exposure, of course, because you are waiting for the project that's building the one is on USDT, right? The other is maybe with pump fund, the other whatever. So we wanted to show from our side, and this is from one side, this is a cool approach, but it's a very hard approach because you have to do double the work or 3 times maybe more, because we are not only concentrated on one pump platform, launch platform, on one futures platform that we could build sometimes even with layer 2. We have to manage the layer 1, the community, the connection, the products, and then also the marketing for all the products. It's not an easy solution, but this is the solution that shows now slowly with upcoming products that this was the right decision. And now this is the pivot point where we see now from the last weeks, even weeks, because we just started 1 week ago with our swap platform. We are launching now our first token for the Axiome Pay. We will talk about this later. And we are seeing this now on the prices. We are seeing this on the liquidity. We have no liquidity anymore for selling, no selling pressure anymore. So the people are now understanding what we are doing, but it took 2 years' time. And yeah, this was the decision why we did this with our layer 1. And at the end, we've seen the goal first, and then, okay, how we come to this and what we have to build and all this path.
And that was the perfect segue to what I think most of our listeners and traders want to hear about. It's tokenomics. It's understanding what makes AXM tick. We already discussed selling pressure. We know that everybody's interested in understanding what's creating buying pressure. I know there are rewards. You have a very large ecosystem, lots of building blocks. And just a quick remark, love the part that you were building solutions. You searched for a solution in the market you couldn't find, or at least it wasn't good enough, but you found. And then you decide, okay, let's build the one the way that we want to use it. So there's quality in it. And we can see there's service being built on these different levels on all these platforms. But now, how all of this connects to AXM and what can our traders pay attention to so they see, oh, they're launching this. This was launched here. This is how it works. And I didn't know. I can access more information on trading tactics that will make me trading better AXM, or that I know that Charles is doing some specific strategy on the market maker side. Tell us everything, Charles.
Sure. Okay, well, I'm glad we're having the call now because it's taken quite a while for me. I mean, not that it's especially complicated, but just for the tokenomics to sit in, and then just for the last year and a half watching it work. I mean, highlights, and I'll get into this later, are just that even with price pressure earlier on the token, the ratio of delegated to mined has always stayed very traditionally high. I think, and I've never seen it on any other L1. It's like 95% usually are higher, and I'll get into why I think that is. So let's try to keep it as simple as possible. Two main areas. The first one is staking and rewards overview. So AXM staking, pardon me. So we use this delegated proof of stake concept. What does that mean? Well, holders delegate, stake their AXM to validators to help to secure the network, support consensus, and mining new AXM tokens. Increasing delegated AXM also reduces free circulating supply, which we find contributes to network stability. So what does this mean in practice? Well, mining new AXM. We've got a float, and this is all on axiomchain.org. You can see our statistics, block times, the percentage mined. It's 1 billion tokens to be mined. We're at about 63%, I think now, fully mined. It's not a linear. It's been mining for about the last year and a half, but it's not a linear month by month basis. It's exponential. So we expect the mining's going to stop in around probably say 3 or 4 months from now. We'll have the fully 1 billion AXM tokens have been mined. So 3 types of staking rewards. I mean, we get mining new XAM. So we get rewards from newly issued AXM accrued delegators and to validators. And again, this reward rate is not fixed. It's set by a floating rate reward mechanism, which is based on network conditions. The second staking reward is a share of network fees. So a portion of all on-chain fees is distributed to delegators after partial burn and validator commissions. And then third one we'll have coming soon is a so-called community pool income. So once this goes live, stakers will also receive a share of community pool revenue from ecosystem products like our Axiome Trade products, swap, pump, and futures. Okay, so let's look. Number 2 is let's look at the floating reward mechanism and how it works. So the core concept really is, instead of like a fixed APR, the reward rate floats in response to the ratio, so just a fraction of delegated AXM to total mined AXM. And this ratio is monitored, and you can see this on axiomchain.org. It's monitored block by the protocol, and the system adjusts the mining reward rate accordingly. So if the ratio is over 95%, it's a fixed 20% monthly APR. If it dips below that, right now it's a 17% monthly reward rate. So this is how it works. So really, why it matters, I think, is because it links rewards to actual network participation. So high staking reduces free supply and earns high rewards, whereas low staking triggers conservative rewards. So it really creates a self-regulating incentive mechanism, in my opinion, where the community determines the reward level. So it's pretty cool.
I can see what you did there, because I think that let's call it general population is used to see as investment solutions. You usually have a more conservative approach that will probably deliver lower yields. But okay, this is less of a headache, or I don't have time to pay attention to it. Or a more active participation, or a little bit of higher risk staking that might give you higher returns. And I can see that this connects to the rest of the ecosystem that we've been discussing already, that has a community engaged, that has people participating and taking the word out, incentivizing word of mouth. How does it connect with Axiom Futures, if in any ways?
Well, what's going to happen, or maybe just one thing I'll just mention before we move to Axiom Futures, is the mining will stop, as we said, in 3 or 4 months. So how are we going to do the reward at that point? Well, we're going to have a new token, so-called Renewable Energy Token, RET, and that will replace AXM for like rewards for referrals once the AXM mining is completed. So for your question, so Axiom Pump Swap and Futures it's going to be a virtuous cycle. Trading on those exchanges or on those 3 products are going to accrue rewards, AXM rewards, to stakers and to validators. It's become a virtuous self cycle.
I see. And okay, and just so we we add this detail of, and how is that connecting? I know that you explained that, but I noticed we have different tokens. The swap is there to help with that. Tokens are found in the market. There are the incentives. There's staking. How is this connecting directly to the community pool?
Okay, let's look at every product by itself. So Axiom Pump, as I understand, pump fees are going to 100% go to the community pool. So every launch is going to directly fund stakers and strengthen AXM tokenomics. For Axiom Swap, I understand 20% of all Axiom Swap trading fees are going to flow back to the community pool, again, benefiting AXM stakers and RET token holders as well. And then for Axiom Futures, I understand our plan right now is 40% of futures fees are going to flow into the community pool. Again, tying back for AXM stakers and RET token holders. So that's the plan right now.
Wonderful. Yeah. And I can see how that connects with RWA perps. Most of commodities are traded already in future papers. So this is a well-fitting system for that. Lots of moving parts. I'm trying to connect all the dots. I think, yeah, I want to get into, there's a big discussion nowadays. Most of people in the industry for a while, as long as you've been, have been seeing the industry, have been seeing Web3 or crypto trading as a 4-year cycle. It's been cyclical, but now we've seen speakers bringing this like a faraway dream that we would be mainstream, that these technologies would be used by countries, would be, now we see national reserves. Now we see stablecoins being used as a main payment system. Large banks that were usually seen as as big adversaries are now adopting this tech. So market capitalization and trading volumes are clearly depending on macroeconomics these days. Probably this means either a longer cycle or a different cycle. How is this impacting your plans, and what are you looking ahead, let's say for the next 2 quarters or to 2026? How is your roadmap looking?
Yeah, very good question. So I think we prepared a lot of things in the last 2 years. As I already said, it was not an easy way because, as you heard now from the tokenomics, we gave away a lot of rewards. And it was not easy without of the right products to have the right position, even from the price side of the token. And you see this in the chart, but it's fine. It's fine because the early adopters, early believers, they have a lot of stakes now in IXM. And now we are prepared for all these products that are built around our layer one. So, and from the next steps. So we launched 1 week ago, just this web platform. It was the first start. We launched the first 2 tokens in our ecosystem, just meme tokens, just to see how the community is working. We didn't expose this to outside of the community, just to see how it's working, how the tech is working in the main or in production. And it was a good result. We had X15, 18, and a lot of assets flew in from the tech side. This was the important point. From the tech side, everything was stable, and we could hold what we awaited from the tech part. And this was just the start, just the first step. And now we are in the next weeks and months, we are building bridges to all the other blockchains, launching other tokens, token pairs. Also, we are launching our pump platform. It's a launchpad. It's a combination of launchpad and let's call it pump fund, but a pretty nice thing, something new, unique, where the community is really given a very strong tool to build their own tokens, as I already said, and two clicks, but not only launch a token, but to have a really great tokenomics behind this that they can set up, to have, if they want, an MLM system behind this nearly for free. So this is the next step. And after this step, of course, it's very, very interesting to launch the futures platform, because the futures platform itself, maybe you remember, was ready even before L1, our main L1 was ready. But we didn't found it was the right timing for this. And now it's the great timing because we will have more and more tokens every week now from inside the community, outside the community. And then, of course, to have all these assets going from swap to future, not all, but a lot of them going to futures and to grow the futures exposure inside the community and outside the community. This will be the next huge step to launch the futures trading in our trading Axiome Trade platform. And in parallel to this, we already spoke a little bit about the product Axiome Pay. Axiome Pay is a card aggregator of crypto cards, virtual and physical cards that we are operating worldwide with this. We have 5 different cards, and it's a top up of USDT in real time. You have the assets in US dollar, can spend this. We have huge limits. I think you can read this more details in axiomepay.com. But the main thing what we are doing now is, I told already, we have 2 meme tokens that we tested with, and tomorrow on the 23rd January, we are launching the first fundamental token on our chain or on our swap. It's the AXP that opens up huge doors in the crypto card space. Why? Because you have a platinum status. So all statuses are binding to the holders of AXP. So it means real utility where you need 100,000 of the AXP token, and you are getting the platinum status where you're getting 1% just top up fee. I mean, Bruno, you know, maybe this is really the best you can get worldwide with cards that are working worldwide. 1% top up, it's pretty nice. There are more other benefits, but I think it's too much now to talk about this. But this will give us a huge exposure worldwide with such products like, we have a second product that we launched a few weeks ago. It's Axiom Payments. What we are doing is acquiring for different things, for the crypto space, for marketplaces, for exchanges, for Forex, whatever. So we have a whole product that is working and operating already worldwide. And all these products, we are always thinking, and you had a very important question. So what is the Axiom or AXM token holder getting from this? It's nice that you have different products. It's nice that you're earning money, right? But what is coming back to the AXM holders, the early adopters, early believers? And we are trying always, even if it's, so we are trying always to be decentralized, but some products don't work decentralized, unfortunately, like crypto cards, acquiring. It's not working, but we are trying always to connect the decentralized world with the centralized world, even if we are earning money centralized. We try to give back something into the ecosystem. It's always coming back through buybacks, whatever, or some revenue shares. If it's possible, revenue share is not always possible, you know, from the regulation point. But we are trying always to give with each product that we are designing with our community, in our community, where we have the exposure through our community. We are always giving something back into the AXM holders or to the AXM holders. I'm very sure this year, but even the next weeks and months will be very, very interesting for our ecosystem, especially when we are looking into the market. Maybe when we have a little bit exposure into the market, or we all feel something is coming in the market, right? I think this is a good timing now, and we are ready for this because last year we were not ready. We wished we were ready, but now we are really ready, and the products are staying already like to go. The community is great. We have a really strong community, and it's like a not a small. It's a big family now for us. This is what shows this story again, but this MLM, right? That we are always not really liking. But I had a lot of businesses before, to be honest. And I have even some other businesses. But this community, this coming together and this believing like in a family, I never felt this in any project before. And this is cool. And this is why the people went all this way with us. It was not easy. We understand. And they had to have a lot of belief, not 1 month and, oh, okay, it didn't work. Let's go further, right? No, they waited 1 year, 2 years. And now we are feeling these rewards that are coming back. And to get these feelings from this community, from these people that believe from day one, it's insane. I never had this before. We had to talk with Charles before. We had before an AMA with our community because of the upcoming token launch. This energy, it's crazy, really crazy. And I like it. And I'm really happy that we went through all this and that it's a new beginning now because now the products are launching and we don't even think about the layer one itself. It's stable. We had never fall downs, not 1 and 2 years. We have a lot of transactions on the swap everywhere. I don't think about this because it's the backbone. It's working. Everything is good, but now the products are coming in. This is the interesting thing. And I'm really looking forward to the roadmap for this year. And it will be fun. Yeah.
Exciting year ahead. Exciting year ahead. And that's interesting. This is the second time this week. And yeah, we all that I hear this, how precious is the human component of our communities. I think maybe because it's purely digital, the technology, the concepts, it's very technical. It's always virtual or digital. It's there. It's computer online. It's always on the screen. But the community component, when we come together, when we have a group of people with a common goal, that's so powerful. And like you said, kudos to your community to holding long. But there's a lot of value in understanding that to build something real takes time. And you explain it. I think that this is the valuable, one of the most valuable parts of this conversation is that you explain the multitude of products that composes the Axiome ecosystem. And it is much needed to have this because now you have several different fee generating events that can actually support all those rewards payouts, all the worth of staking. And just to remind people that staking comes from having stakes, for being stakeholders, from participating on something that's being built and can become bigger. And of course, regulations need to be respected, but there are always ways, token buybacks, burns of transferring value back to community. This is fantastic. Any events, conferences? Is the community participating on something in the near future?
Yeah, we plan because we have a very strong community. So we have a few 100,000 wallets, okay, but we have a very strong, let's say, active community, more than 50,000 people worldwide. They are not all 100% active, but they are before they start, so they're waiting for but we have also a very strong leaders that are ready to go. So what does it mean? We will make our own events for our community.
Perfect.
We will have in Dubai this year some, and of course across the world, but so we will have get-togethers, so first in Dubai, and we will make more our own events out of this because we have this community for us.
Wonderful. And before we wrap up, is there anything else have we missed or any main takeaway to leave for our users?
Yeah, what I could say, I mean, we had all the topics. The only thing you said it pretty right. We are a very young layer one, and if you see on Biconomy, on Maxi, on Tapit, wherever we are, you would say, okay, the price went down the last year. What's interesting, but please look into the backbone. So what we built and where we are pretty near to start now. And I'm talking especially about the products. And I don't want to sell something, but just check it. So the only way to find out if it's something real or not is just to go in, check, not buy or something, just check the products. Do you like it? Do you like the UX/UI? Is it stable? What your friends are talking? Are you fine with this? This is the only thing we really want to have it, that this exposure or that the people have the possibility to test it. And then if they like to stay, if not, okay, that's fine. We never push someone because especially in the MLM space, what we see always, people are trying to push something, trying to sell something, even if it's not there. It will come, you have to buy now and so on. We never did this. We never did external hardcore marketing or something. Of course, we had influencers or something. we were always tech-centric. So we wanted always to build technology for people with great UX UI, secure, transparent. This was the main goal that we had. And we are here now. Just come in, test it out. If you like it, great. If not, there are other products in the market. So this is the
There you
only
go,
thing
yeah.
I can say to the end.
Trust what you built. Charles?
Yeah, I would just add, I mean, to what Alex said, you can see it on LinkedIn about 100 times a day. Don't watch the price action. Builders just keep their heads down and build,
No.
across different cycles. But actually, with Axiome, that's exactly what's happened, right? That's point one. And then this final point is, the ratio that we talked about earlier of stake to mined has always been extraordinarily high, 95%, which shows that people are committed to the project longer term, which is been very helpful. Yeah, I'll say enjoy keeping up on
Great.
Biconomy, our Telegram chat on our market making, and let's just keep forging the path forward together.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Alex and Charles, for sharing your journey and insights. And thanks to our Biconomy friends for tuning in. Check out Axiome through the links in the description, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the great questions. Bye.
Thanks, Breno.